I'm out here again, and I'm out here in the woods in my favorite place to be, besides Chick-fil-A or Dunkin' Donuts, one or the other. But sorry, my inner fat child was just talking just then. I like food, dude. But one of the ways we practice, a lot of times what we'll do is different, but there are a few little negatives to it. But as long as you're aware of them, it's good. But it's the way we practice is we have access to some awesome woods where I live, so I'm very lucky that way. We'll set up anywhere from a 1.5 to 3 minute woods track, and some of it might be a little bit of moto, like open gravel pit area and some woods, or just all woods, open, tight. You can make it whatever you have an issue with. That's what you can incorporate in the track. A lot of times you go out trail riding, you got to wait for your buddy. No offense to waiting for my buddies, because I have no problem waiting for my buddies. It's fine. Sometimes they're waiting for me, so it's all good. But a lot of times when you go ride a track, you just show them the track. You can ride it, hammer it out, and they can even bring their kids along, and that way you ain't got to wait for anybody, and everybody's getting some riding in. It's fun, and it's a good workout. And what I try and do is try and stay out there for, depending on what your physical fitness level is. You might want to start with some 5-8 minute motos, and then grow into the 10, 15, 20 minute motos. Your goal is 20s, in my opinion. That's what I always did anyway. Be aware that if you're in the woods and it's a tighter woods track, sandy like it gets down here, a lot of times it gets blowed out after a while. A lot of times when it gets blowed out, it ain't worth being sketchy. When it starts to get, in my terms, sketchy, where it's like, whoa, you're really searching for traction and search for different lines, stuff like that. If you don't have the opportunity to make different lines, then what I'm saying is just move on, make another one. The best way to make a woods track, in my opinion, is not walk with a machete. Is get on your bike with some open woods and just start looking through the woods, trying to pan out, okay, a line and make a berm. And in my opinion, I've had a lot of guys, I always say my opinion a lot. But I've had guys, come up and walk with a machete and try and make some cool tracks and whatever. And sometimes it works out pretty good. But the best way to have good flow and fun is jump on a bike and just try and carve out your track that way. If you know the woods, then that's the best way to do it. And then go back out and, hatchet it in or bust the branches out of the way and mark it up pretty good. And try and roost a little bit, like turn the dirt up a little bit so that when you go back, you can find it. If it's quite long, you'll be like standing in the woods like, all right, I know I went through here, but I don't know where I went. Try and just turn it up a little bit. If you have a buddy behind you, following you, just tell them that, hey, slip the clutch a little bit, throw some dirt a little bit, just to kind of mark it up so you can come back and find it, carve a good line, and that's the best way to make a new woods track. I know it's kind of tough if you got a lot of green where you ride. Where we do, it's not much green around, but kind of just got to be, picky and choosy. And but you can incorporate some tighter stuff, some open stuff, some woods. You're gonna make it all new, whatever. But anyway, a lot of times it's a good way to practice, good way to train, rather than just riding trail all the time. So we kind of like to make woods tracks. The negative to that, it will make you, if you're a hair scramble guy or a moto guy, I'm sorry if I offend you, but I do know this from myself. Being brought up on enduros, I don't feel I was the best trail reader out there, but you get really good at trail reading because you've never seen it before. If you ride a lot of woods tracks, moto tracks, whatever, a lot of times you don't have to read the trail just because you know what's coming. You've been there already a couple minutes before that. So be aware of that it's always good, just because you're doing motos all the time on your woods tracks, to go out and hit some trails or something where you have to read trail. I mean, consciously, when you're doing your moto, you want to tell yourself, okay, look up, look up, look up. But also, consciously, let's be honest, you know what's coming, okay? But the cool thing is, you'll know if you're looking up and reading it well, even though you've ridden it numerous times, when you start to make new lines. That's the cool thing, too. Because looking up, from where you're at to the next turn, a lot of times you can pick out a straight line that you never seen, or just the edge of something, and it really makes you good at making new lines. Look ahead. So just be conscious that when you're riding a moto, if you start doing woods tracks and stuff like that, little short tracks like I'm telling you, the downside is that you forget to read trail. Always remember to look up when you're riding your motos, and to work in some trail riding to your practice, because it teaches you just that, to read trail, to look up. You can't forget that, man. Because that first lap of the hare scramble, if you're in the lead, you're not following anybody. You have to read all the trail, and that's your time to get away from everybody if you have that kind of strategy going on. So good strategy to have. Or my strategy is always just try and stay with that leader. So I never really was good at that either, but I tried. So all right, man, this is my tip for today on making woods tracks, and a little bit different way to practice. And I can't wait, because I just made a new one, and it's Thursday and Sunday. When my buddies come, they're gonna be like, dude, this is awesome. So it's gonna be a good time. Can't wait. And the weather's supposed to be like in the 60s for February. Right on. All right, see y'all later. Thank you. Bye. You guys thought you were done, huh? Thought the video was over? Yes? No? That's that word I use frequently. Is a word, by the way. And yes, I'm driving home again. Is the word you use when you can't remember what the heck you were going to say. So I use it frequently. This video tip has been about sprint track. Has been about how to make a woods track and whatnot, and to practice on and all that. The other thing that I didn't cover and bring up is, you know, besides it being fun and you can take your buddies riding and not have to wait up for them and all that stuff that I covered already, it's also a good way to train, because as long as it's not too blowed out and dangerous, you can use it for sprints. You know, pyramid sprints, like I've mentioned in some of my training videos, off the bike training videos, to build that sprint speed that you're looking for. You could also use it for lap times with your buddies, competing against your buddies with lap times and stuff like that. So that's why it's cool to play around with that. It's kind of taking a moto track and putting it in the woods, really, because it's kind of the same way you can use a moto track. But we don't always have access to a moto track. But you know, this video is more about just making a woods track, how to make one, get on a dirt bike and make one, and then come back and hack it in with a machete. And it's a good idea to do that anyway. A lot of guys just want to come and use your track and not make any. Dude, make a track for your boys, you know. But I have fun making tracks, man, because you always look. I'm the guy that's always driving down the road and I see a patch of woods. I'm like, oh my god, dude, I can make a killer track in there. I always thought about that, you know, when you're going like 95 down Route 95 and the median, when it gets woods in between, down like in the Carolinas. Dude, you can make just one long trail. I know we're talking about tracks, but in the median there in some of the woods, it's so bitchin'. Can I say bitchin'? Of course I can. It's my YouTube channel, dude. Anyway, but I'm that guy driving down the road. I see a patch of woods. I'm like, oh my god, I need to make a trail in there. Wish I could make a track in there. But you can use this, you know, kind of a woods track thing for pyramids, for sprints. Pyramid sprints are like, you know, you start out with a one lap sprint, and then a cool down lap, and then a 2-lap sprint, cool down lap, and then a 3-lap sprint, and then back down the other side, like back to a 2, back in a 1. Sometimes what I used to do is your cool down lap, which you don't have to have a cool down lap, but depending on how long the lap is incorporate a fundamental. You know, whether it be a one-arm drill. I know it's for some guys it's tough, but you got to start somewhere, man. And it can help your speed and help your cornering. One-arm drills help your cornering tremendously, in my opinion. But your cool-down lap can be, you know, a fundamental, like where you bring in a one-arm drill, or just do the whole lap with no brakes, just front, or just whatever you're working on, and then incorporate that into your sprint, and that's tough to do. But I just wanted to add on to some of the video that I talked about, because I didn't bring up how you can use it for training purposes other than just hammering out laps. Because in my opinion, a lot of people just become complacent in the sense of they just go out and do motos. You know. That's why I brought up videoing and all that other stuff before. But utilize it best, and you know, be unique, and you can definitely get a much better rider out of just being more creative with your practice and working on your weaknesses, rather than just going out and hammering out motos. A lot of times you just ingrain bad habits in your system. You'll be a fit dude, but you won't your speed will not progress. I say that because that was me, man. I just go out and hammer out 20-minute motos. I didn't have no sprint speed. I didn't know what sprints were. I would just go out and do 20-minute motos or hour motos or whatever was going on. I was in shape, but I didn't have that sprint speed, and I had a lot of bad habits ingrained in my system. So don't be that guy. Practice and work on your weaknesses, and work on sprints, man. Any kind of sprint workout you can do on your dirt bike and off the dirt bike. So I'm rambling because I'm driving. So just wanted to add this onto the video, and if I haven't said so, make sure you just subscribe, man. My videos I think are pretty decent, and I just give a lot of information, and I'm working on getting a camera and some stuff going on, more dirt bike stuff, just rather than me sitting and watching me talk, because dude, I'm not that good looking of a dude, and I don't want to just listen to me talk. But I think my information's good, but I don't want to look at me all the time, so I'm sure you don't either. Anyway, dude, Friday night, shrimp and steak dinner at home. Can't wait. Went to the grocery store. So pumped. Anyway, that's all I'm going to leave you with. Shrimp and steak dinner. Alright, man. Be good. Later.